All right, guys, what's going on? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. Now, before we get into the classic gameplay commentary style type of video, I wanted to share a little bit of something here in real time over on Twitter, because we have kind of an exciting update for Season 2 coming up, and then that is where we can discuss this, as well as you guys help me out in the comment section of what this could possibly be. But we got a little bit of a hint in terms of what's coming up for Season 2 and slightly beyond, as well as like some kind of exciting things, if you ask me. So anyway, let's start. So Blame Truth here on his Twitter, or X, basically said, got early access to Debrief for XDefiant Season 2. Can't discuss anything specifically as I'm under NDA, but the new faction looks insanely powerful, and I'm hoping they're not OP. There's a Modern Warfare 3 2011 mechanic at play with their passive that looks nuts. Next up, he says some other stuff. Speaking of Modern Warfare 3, two of my favorite weapons from that game are coming this season. The map designers / art team are seriously the best at what they do. These are aesthetically the best looking maps in the game. New game mode looks like it fits perfectly. Next up, he goes to say, we got some brief previews of Season 3 and 4. Can't discuss anything, but the game is going to do some ambitious evolving, I will say. Next up, we have Astonish here that says, or that asks, or whatnot, seen, and I mean, wow. Oh, okay, so he basically says that he's seen it, and he's like, wow. Anthony, or Blame Truth, basically responds with, ADS and Blitz Shield gonna be clutch. Next, we have Blake here that asks, do you have any info on if they'll be adding more content during each season now, since Season 1 has felt a little dry with not a ton of content being released for over a 90-day period? I think that's the part of the reason why numbers have dropped, to be honest, is lack of content. Anthony responds with, yeah, they're going to do some big mid-season update. Next up, we have Wilder Samus over here that says, glad to hear that, still wondering if they'll do anything about the cheaters we encounter every day in Ranked in EU. That's very annoying. Blame Truth responds with, top priority is netcode and anti-cheat improvements. So Jaden Kaiser says, last stand, and Anthony says, LOL, no, thank God. This mechanic was what made Modern Warfare 3 really, really good. To me, that says it all, and we're going to discuss when we get into the gameplay. Next up, Edgar F says, any word about party indicators in lobby? Anthony responds with, didn't see anything, but probably a QOL update. Next up, Luke asks, can you ask about Prestige? Biggest reason I dropped was because of this. Anthony basically responds with, it's coming. And we've already discussed that it's probably going to be in Season 3. I would love it for it to be in Season 2, but unfortunately it's not going to be it for but it doesn't seem that way. But anyway, Legacy asks, when is the XDebrief dropping? Season 2 is right around the corner, and I can't wait. Anthony responds with, I don't know if I can reveal that, but in several days' time, you can see the XDebrief as well. White Iverson says, they add search yet? Anthony says, Season 2, with a wink. Let's see. And then Rogue 1 TX says, which you should recognize this for those of you guys that might know, he says, they cooked hard. And then Anthony responds with, I want to live in the arena map that starts with S. And pretty much for the most part, that was it. So let's get into the gameplay commentary here. Okay, so XDefiant Season 2 is going to have a quote-unquote Modern Warfare 3 mechanic. And the other hint was, it's the mechanic that made Modern Warfare 3 really, really good. So what does that tell you? What is the one feature or / mechanic that made Modern Warfare 3 of 2011 really, really good? And say it with me. I know all of you guys are talking about it. And that is Specialist, right? The Specialist ability was awesome. So for those of you guys that are not familiar, right? Because I know that there's some of you that may not be familiar because some of you guys didn't play Modern Warfare 3 back in the day and started a little bit later. Specialist is basically where when you get 2 gun kills in a row without dying, you unlock another perk. And then once you get on an 8 streak, you unlock every single perk that's in the game, and therefore you have your Specialist bonus. As a matter of fact, I think you also had your proficiency bonus, if I'm not mistaken, as well. It was pretty much just the perks, but I think there are players out there that basically started to realize that you also got your proficiencies. But proficiencies were a different thing as well, but they certainly helped as well. So yeah, Specialist is what truly made Modern Warfare 3 great. And there's another little hint that I want to add on here, because Mark Rubin also directed Call of Duty Ghosts, right? He wasn't just the executive producer for a lot of games or whatnot, or part of the team back then when he was with COD for a while, but he was also the main guy behind Call of Duty Ghosts. Now, Call of Duty Ghosts also brought back Specialist, except it was a little bit more limiting. You kind of had to choose what your Specialist bonus was going to be, and you didn't unlock every single Specialist bonus. The best version of Specialist that we've ever seen to this day is the OG Modern Warfare 3 Specialist. And if Specialist is what we're talking about here for Season 2 of XDefiant, I hope we get the Modern Warfare 3 2011 version. I don't want the Ghost version, especially since, well, there's only five factions or so, 5 or 6 factions in the game, and quite frankly, you know, that's only like, you know, 6 passive abilities. Now, with that being said, that is still powerful within itself. So if we were to get the Ghost version, we would have to, like, I think we would have to pick like maybe 2 or 3, but I wouldn't be surprised if they limited it to where it's like, you know, you have to pick 2 or 3. But I personally think we should do it all to where it's like, okay, we get to pick the order, just like we did in the OG Modern Warfare 3 as well as Ghost. We get to pick the order, right? But I think once you get to a certain number of kills, right, a certain number of gun kills, of course, and as well as OBJ play, I think that's something that's very, very interesting. I think OBJ play needs to play a part of this as well, because a lot of players have specifically wanted OBJ play to play a big role in this. So I would say OBJ play would help with that as well. I think a lot more people would be doing stuff as well. Obviously, in team deathmatch, this is different because it's just about kills, but you guys know how that works. So, but I don't think it should be limited the way it was for Ghosts, right? But again, like I said, that's kind of unlikely, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if it ended up being a thing because, well, we're only going to get more and more factions as time goes on. Now, granted, we're only going to get 3 more factions because we're going to have what? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So by the time the first year of XDefiant is over, we're going to have 4 additional factions in accordance to what released with the game. So you're talking about 9 in general. So if this faction, right, if this faction that's coming up is going to be the Specialist, right, then need I say more? I think, well, I guess we can say it's going to be 8 actually after year 1. So therefore, once you get on that streak, you can unlock 2 and 2 and 2. But I don't know if I think it's going to be limited in some way, shape, or form. I don't think it's like once you get to like 8 kills to where it's going to unlock. I think it's going to be basically every 2 kills, right? You're going to unlock the new ability that you've chosen to unlock in a specific order. And then once you have them all, you just kind of have them all. And I don't know if it's going to give you any sort of additional ability once you unlock them all or something like that. But I think it's going to be very interesting. For them to put their own twist on a Specialist would be very interesting. Again, the only other thing that reminds me of Modern Warfare 3 2011 is SitRep Pro, right? That is the only other thing that reminds me that much of Modern Warfare 3. But it's not what made Modern Warfare 3 really, really good, right? SitRep Pro is just an overpowered perk. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a damn difference maker in that game. But with that being said, what is the biggest thing that everybody remembers about OG Modern Warfare 3? And that is the Specialist bonus. Now, you guys are more than welcome in the comment section to basically add into this, because I know that there are those of you out there that not only remember Modern Warfare 3, but for some of you, Modern Warfare 3 is your favorite Call of Duty ever. Like, Modern Warfare 3 is like, you know, OG 2011 Modern Warfare 3 is your favorite Call of Duty in certain aspects, right? Now, this isn't necessarily a very popular thing for Modern Warfare 3, the OG Modern Warfare 3 to be people's favorites. But I will say that I think over time, a lot of people appreciate it more than what they did back then, right? And Specialist bonus is still, to this day, the highlight of Modern Warfare 3. So that's where my mind is at. Like, you say OG Modern Warfare 3 to me, my mind is at Specialist. There's no way that the other things about Modern Warfare 3 make it into that game unless there's something that I'm completely missing. If it's not Specialist, the only thing I could think of is that there's probably a proficiency system of some sort or something like that that gets added in there, right? So, but I doubt it. I seriously doubt that's it, because there's no proficiency system. So, you know, is there something else in mind that I'm missing? But no, I mean, imagine that. Imagine every 2 kills, right? Let's say you start out with no passive ability whatsoever, right? Because your passive ability is like you take other factions' passive abilities, right? So, okay, so passive, like you get your first 2 kills, and then all of a sudden you get the incinerator from the cleaners, and then after that you get the Libertad. Like the other ones, you get the Libertad, and then after that you get the extra health from Phantoms, and then after 2 more kills after that you get you know, dead sex hacking or something like that, or whatever, you know. Seriously, this is crazy. This is nuts. So if we're talking about Specialists here, guys, I think a lot of players are definitely going to be pretty much enjoying the living hell out of it. And then this, like, if this is the case, I think that the slayers, like the guys that are really good at getting kills and playing the OBJ as well. I mean, it's I don't know if they're gonna reward OBJ gameplay for it as well. I personally think they should, obviously, because XDefiant is all about playing the OBJ as well. But honestly, if you are a person who is able to get a high body count in XDefiant, this is only going to make you more powerful. And honestly, now obviously, upon death, when you die, you lose this ability and you start over from square one, right? You start over from square one and you're back to 0 again. So that's just let me remind that to people. It's like once you die, you lose your streak. And what is also one of the things that players have been complaining about with this game? That there's no streaks. So now all of a sudden we have, to a certain degree, a form of streaks that are in the game, and it's in the form of one of the best types of streak. What's the word I'm looking for here? Streak features that we've ever had in a first-person shooter. Because let's admit it, Modern Warfare 3 was genius with inventing the whole assault support and specialist system to where you can literally choose. And basically, if this is true, and if this is the direction they're going in, we're having our own form of specialist in the game that they have not put into Call of Duty since Call of Duty Ghost. And even in Ghost, it wasn't the same as it was in Modern Warfare 3. Everybody since Modern Warfare 3 has been calling for the Modern Warfare 3 version. So, and on top of that, again, if this is true, again, like I said, as XDefiant continues to evolve, you're only going to be able to get more bigger and bigger streaks. They give you more and more abilities. But like, again, for those people that are not as good in the game, don't let this scare you, because at the same time, once you die in the game, you're starting over from square one, and you're not starting with any passive ability until you get those 2 kills. So that's where the balance to a certain degree comes into play, right? So yeah, this is pretty exciting if this is true. So again, in the comment section, I want to know, number 1, are you excited about this? And number 2, what else could it be? There's nothing else that comes to mind for me about OG Modern Warfare 3. So that made it really, really good. So let me know down in the comment section what you guys think, and what do you guys think about this ability being added to XDefiant? Do you think it's good for the game? Do you think it's bad for the game? What are your opinions on it? And what do you think? Are we getting like a tit for tat, or do you think XDefiant is going to do its own way of doing it that will be really enticing to all players, not just the ones that are super skilled, but for beginners as well? Let me know. I mean, because even back in the day when I sucked, because when Modern Warfare 3 came out, I sucked. Okay, I sucked big time at COD, right? But Modern Warfare 3 was still getting specialists was still very satisfying, because I loved unlocking those additional perks, right? It's like you start with your regular perks, and then because you're a specialist, you don't get those other streaks, but you get additional perks. And for me, unlocking additional perks was fun, even when I sucked. So, but let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. I personally think this is very exciting, and thanks to Blame Truth for the update and the hints. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you all for taking the time to watch and or listen, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.